Here we go. It's time to perform a 2024 best ball draft for all of you. And I know some of you want to draft with me all the time, but we need to do more drafts where you're not involved so you can see me apply the process and try and work the room. And not only that, talk out my strategy in front of you so you know what the heck I want to do. And so I've joined a draft already. I'm at the 11th spot. McCaffrey, Lamb, Tyreek have gone so far. The Fantasy Football Show Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, where your first deposit is matched up to $1,000 for a limited time, meaning you drop $2,000, they're giving you $1,000. You drop 100, they'll give you 50. You drop the minimum of $10, they'll give you 5, all the way up to $1,000. Hit that link. I just dropped it in a live stream. It's pinned in the live chat. Actually, let me pin it right now. Pinned in the live chat right now. There it is. So join and let's get to drafting. Let's get to trying to negotiate where we draft quarterback in a room like this from the 11 pick. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks. You're watching a graveyard stream.
Okay, so just in the nick of time, it went McCaffrey, Lamb, Hill, St. Brown, Chase, Breece Hall, Justin Jefferson, Bijan, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson on the clock. 15 seconds to draft. Let me take... Wow, Tyreek Hill? Oh, okay. Let's go with Jahmyr Gibbs. That was weird. My thing glitched out for a second. It showed Tyreek Hill. I was like, whoa, Tyreek Hill. Wait a minute. And then he went away. There's some weird refreshes sometimes on your phone, especially compared to the browser. So I got browser up. I'm drafting on my phone. Let's go with good old Kyren and Gibbs back to back. Let's see if we can deploy running back with a late 3rd round pick and early 4th round pick and see what we can cook up here. I love doing this strategy. And I know that rubs a lot of people the wrong way in the best ball industry, and I guess I would say that I apologize for absolutely nothing.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. We drive against traffic here on the Fantasy Football Show. We are not like Caleb, okay? We're not like Concerned Caleb or and I don't mean anybody specific, but I just mean in general the Concerned Caleb, the worried William, the Roger the Rascal. All right, let's see if I can minimize this a little bit. Let me put that right there. Okay, there we go. All right, we are getting closer to our pick, but let's open the phone lines while we await this, and let's take some of your phone calls, and I'd love to know what you guys think of the running back strategy personally. And I like it in non-best ball more than best ball. So we are here to discuss non-best ball. This is not just a best ball show whatsoever. So let's go on over to this screen. I'm going to put this right here in the corner so we can keep tabs on it, but we will not just be showing a draft board the entire show like every boring other channel out there doing this right now. I don't like being like anybody else. I like doing my own thing. I love driving a different train. I love having I march to a different drum beat, if you will. So let's put that right here. And phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I'll put phone number on screen. Let me put this down in the corner here. And that way we can keep an eye on when I'm on the clock and I've got to race over to draft. But I'd love to know what you guys think about the running back. We'll see in best ball. The reason people hate it in best ball is because they're told to hate it. Because all the content, all the metrics, last year's data, slave to the data. But last year, you're more likely to, from last year's data, advance if you went wide receiver. Smitty, did you know that the winner of last year went wide receiver? Well, what about the year prior when someone went running back and won Best Ball Mania? What about that? And second of all, this isn't last year. This isn't your mom and dad's last year. Okay, this is 2024, and the wide receivers are deeper than ever. The QBs, the running backs, the tight ends, every position is filled to the rafters. So we're going to smash best player available like we always do. Phone lines open, dial in, dial in, dial in. We'll keep going back and forth. Tua, holy smokes, this guy's doing the Miami Dolphins stack. The thing about this ridiculous draft selection at 27 overall is he would have easily made it to the 46, and more than likely easily made it to the, like you didn't have to take him at that. What in the hell is he trying to throw this whole draft? Am I going to get an email based on my team being so good that this draft has been thrown out, or because this guy drafted what he did? Todd, you're live. What's up? Todd the Lobster. Why do we call you Todd the Lobster? How'd that come about?
It's changed. It's Shamrock now.
You let me determine what's changed. Why do we call you Todd the Lobster?
Oh, Lobster Todd. It's just a movie reference.
Okay. What can I do for you, Lobster?
Yeah, since you're doing a video on going early QB, I happen to be in a bigger league this year. It's a 14-man league, and we did draft slots the other day, and I drafted I got the 13th pick out of 14, and I'm curious if I go second round QB, would that be too early?
Yeah. In a one QB, I would wait until the third. There's just too much value. Hang tight. I'm on the clock here. I got Diggs sitting there, Ayuk sitting there, Dell. A lot of people think Dell's too early here. I do not. I smash the hell out of the Dell pick all the time, all day long. And I'm going to wait for this to swing back around and see what I'm going to do here. You guys know my theory. You win leagues on Patrick Mahomes round 4 in best ball. You win leagues with Patrick Mahomes round 3 in best ball. I don't know. Part of me wants to wait on Stroud. This guy took Rashee Rice. Would have loved to have had Rice or Worthy come back to me. I don't think they will. Josh Allen's fantastic here as well. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Allen here, and throw curveball. Because I go Mahomes all day long. I go Mahomes almost every draft I've got Mahomes. So I'm gonna mix this up. Okay, I'm also gonna strategically pair, most likely, I think Worthy's gonna go before it comes back to me. So I'm gonna have no stackage really with the Mahomes pick here. So I'm gonna either swing for a Kincaid, Coleman, or one of the two with this comeback pick that I have. Okay, so anyway, what was your question? Was do you go early quarterback at what, 13? Did you say 13 overall? Hell no.
Yeah.
Not in a 1 QB, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it 87 points per passing touchdown or something? Like, why would you reach that high?
Because it's a 14-man league, and if I have the 13th pick and I get the second round coming back to me, I won't have another pick for.
I thought you said the 13th pick. You're talking about grabbing them at 13. So, I don't. You said 14-man league.
14-man league, yeah.
Okay. I don't hate it, but if it's like everyone gobbles up the quarterbacks, bro.
That's exactly what I'm. That's the kind of league this is. They'll start,
So there's advantages.
Some of them are.
There's advantages to going
against the grain. Some of them are
grain.
experienced, so they're going to snipe quarterbacks early.
There's advantages to going against the grain, though, my guy. It's tough to say. I'm not sitting here saying that I wouldn't do it, but I would also explore, like, where's Kyler going to go? Where's Love going to go? And if everybody's going to scoop up all these early QBs and it's 14 team, sometimes the bigger the league, the more late quarterback is beneficial, because everyone's going to be so spread out that if you land that quarterback, like let's say Stroud falls, and Stroud falls way too far. I don't think Kincaid's going to fall all the way back to me. Because of the tight end run that just happened. We had Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and Trey McBride. Really? like all those guys right in a clump, that's just going to force a Kincaid drafting. It's probably not going to bode well for me. But we'll see. I've seen crazier things happen where you've literally a guy slid, like he's at the top of the suggested rank and he slid like 10 spots, and you're like every pick you're just at the edge of your seat. Usually it happens the pick before though, right before you pick. I think in the bigger the league, you could say having that massive 40 touchdown quarterback is going to be advantageous to where it carries you every week in a 14-teamer. But you could also say that if you pick the Dak Prescott of last year, who is QB4 in a world of running QBs, if you get that in Stroud, or you get that in Dak again, or you get that in Kyler or whatever, bro, you're talking about a whole different advantage for you. So you're probably going to want to go that direction. If it's me, I would. We're 3 picks away. Could Kincaid fall? Hold on a second, boys.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Just hang tight. Hang tight for me. Kincaid's second recommended player. Come on. One more pick. He's the top guy. He of course he's gonna go right here. And this, I don't think this is one of our people or anything. This will just be a natural, normal snipage. Ridley. We got Kincaid. Unbelievable. Josh Allen and Kincaid paid off. The risk paid off. I said, you know what? I've got one wide receiver in the first 5 rounds. Oh, Smitty doesn't know what he's doing. Absolute garbage. Okay, now we're coming in swinging big, and there's good players available, but none of which are as valuable as Keon Coleman to me. I'm going Kincaid, Coleman, Josh Allen, and back-to-back. Josh Allen, Kincaid, Coleman, back-to-back picks. Got my 2 wide receivers in a wide receiver world where I think people are completely missing the boat on how deep this wide receiver class is in the rookie pool alone, mixed with all the other players that are emerging like JSN and Rashee Rice being back on the map, given he's probably not getting suspended this year. You've got Jaden Reed. You've got the Green Bay Packer wide receivers. There's so many more wide receivers than ever before. Look at this mother freaking team right here. Look at this running back masterpiece. Gibbs, Kyron, Tank Dell, Josh Allen, Kincaid, and Keon Coleman. We're living the dream, gentlemen.
The ultra stack.
All right. Hang tight for me, Todd. George from the Bay's on the phone. George, by the way, I haven't announced it yet, but you won the contest of the best video submission where you're yelling Chase Brown all over the place. So congrats on that.
Oh, right on, man. That's cool.
What did I promise you would get?
Dude, I have no idea. Honestly, it was just a pleasure to yell out Chase Brown everywhere I was, man.
I think you won a lifetime membership to the fantasyfootballshow.com, I think is what it was. Do you have that already?
Yeah, I think so.
So, why don't we? How about a 20-minute draft prep call?
Yeah, we could do that. I'm down for anything, man.
Okay.
I'm just
There you
here to
go.
support
Winner,
the channel
chicken
any way I
dinner.
can.
What do you think of this team so far, bro? Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron, Tank Dell, Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid, Keon Coleman.
It's pretty good. I like it.
It's a puppy. This is a puppy 3.
I'm blown away by John Boy Beats in the 3-hole taking Tua at 27th overall.
Yeah, what a ridiculously dumb move. Look, if John,
I'm in a draft right now, and Tua went 147.
Yeah, if this guy's in here, I don't think
126 early.
Yeah, this guy's not in here because if he is one, he's going to leave after I tell him this. But number 2, he's not, because our people wouldn't allow this to happen. This is ridiculous. Why he would take Tua at 27 when he wouldn't have even gone yet. And look, he took 3 straight quarterbacks. He took Stroud, Anthony, or not 3 straight, but he took 3 quarterbacks. Why would you take Tua at 27 and then get back to normal quarterback drafting in A. Richardson and Stroud? This guy's got 3 quarterbacks in the first 7 rounds, one of which was Tua in the 3rd round. I don't know what in the heck this guy's doing.
Yeah.
Wildest draft I've ever seen.
He could have players queued, and maybe he timed out on Tua. I don't know.
And we're going to take his Jalen Wright. We're going to snag his Jalen Wright later. I don't think he's trolling because every other pick is of sound logic in terms of their placement of the player. It's just this guy's all over the map. He's just a wild man. absolute. This is the kind of guy that, like, what's the best way to describe him? I don't know. He's the kind of guy that, I don't know. I think he pours his milk in the bowl first and then the cereal after. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of guy this is. All right, so we're on the clock. Hollywood Brown is there. That's fantastic. Let's see here. I think I'll go Hollywood. Granted, he might be out some time, but that's okay. The other guy I'm targeting here is Jamison Williams. I love Jamison Williams right here. This is a fantastic place to grab him. I could snag Mostert from that guy if I want a running back right here, but I'm feeling pretty good about my duo. I'm gonna swing for the fences on JMO. I'm gonna take JMO. I got JMO, Hollywood, Keon, and Tank Dell. Some might say it's a weaker wide receiver room. I say it's built with greatness.
Is Curtis Samuel still available?
Yeah, but I don't want to. I do like stacks, but I don't necessarily want everybody all the time. I like Curtis Samuel, but I want a Hollywood Brown.
Just in case, like, he doesn't lock on to Keon right away, like, just the insurance Buffalo receiver, like Shakir or someone like that.
Yeah, I'm fine with grabbing. I don't want to grab all. I wanted to have some firepower, especially with that Chief offense. I want Mahomes, that Mahomes connection, Rice to the moon. Philly says he pours his milk first. Well, then you're the kind of guy to take Tua Tagovailoa in the third round, pal. All right. Yeah, this is pretty good. I like what I'm seeing here. It's definitely a unique build, but I mean, God, Gibbs, Kyron, Tank Dell, Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid. I think that's 5 amazing players in a row. Keon Coleman, Hollywood, JMO. You could say it's a lighter wide receiver room, but I love it. I'm fine with it. I would have even considered CJ Stroud to get that, like, dual stack going on, but this guy from the third spot can't be controlled. I should have grabbed Mostert from him. just snagged him. That would have pissed him off so bad. But he's going to be mad when we take Jalen Wright, unless he's watching. Maybe he is watching. Let's see if he's watching. I'm taking Jalen Wright next pick. Let's see if he takes him right here. This is a puppy. Let's see if he's watching. He might be watching. Jalen Warren. Maybe he took the wrong Jalen.
Which backup QB are you looking to take?
I got to figure out what I'm going to do here. Chase Brown's still there. Chase Brown. But I don't know that he... I got to take Blake Corum with one of these next picks because his ADP is... I'm going to surpass his ADP here when I get back to my next 2 picks. So I have to take him a little bit early here in order to get him. So I'm going to take Corum to cuff to Kyron. Shakir is available. That's a player I like a little bit more than Curtis Samuel, so I'm going to take him if he's there. I like Wicks a ton. Wicks is fantastic here. 80 Mitchell's decent. Tight ends, I got Njoku, Goddard. Already got Kincaid, though, so I'm not too worried about that. Spears is available. Ford, Corum, Trey Benson's there. I like Benson. But, all right, let's see here. So, Javonte, David, Njoku. Okay, I think we're going to be good with... I'll probably go Shakir or Wicks here. I think I'll go Shakir because then I'm still getting some stackage. I don't want to stack everybody because I want some variation. But here we go. We got Shakir. I don't think this guy's going to go Corum. You never know, though, because I don't think he has any running backs yet. Maybe I should have. Spears. He's going to take 2 running backs here because he doesn't have a single running back yet. I should have looked at that. Jerome Ford, thank God.
Someone's going to be the next Diggs in Buffalo. I mean,
that's Coleman. He's the next Diggs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like we're hoping for Coleman, but what if he locks on Shakir?
Well, I got him.
Because they have.
So we're
I
good.
know. That's
Okay.
awesome. Yeah.
You know what? I'd like this in a weeklies even more so, because you never know. You don't know if Shakir, Hollywood, Keon Coleman, Jameson, Tank Dell is going to be the best, top even 5 wide receiver pool from this grouping of 12 teams. But any individual week they could, So like sometimes that's why I love the weeklies so much. Is you got a shot at 20K every single week, and no week is tied to the next. I wish they would have done another weeklies, like a baby weeklies, like a one entry per person, quick shot, some sort of weeklies, but slow drafts, or something just to add more weeklies, because that's the most fantastic. I love weeklies. It's my favorite. Wicks just went. I would have loved to have had Dontavian Wicks. Let's go over to Alec. Alex, what's up, Alex? You're live. Alex, or is it Alec or Alex?
Alex with an X.
Okay, what's up, Alex? What can I do for you?
So in a 10-team league, depending on where I draft from, how do you feel about going RB, then either going Debo, Achane, or ETN, depending on who's there, and then going quarterback?
I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that. But I really don't want you to plan it. I want you to take the best player available. But yeah, I don't mind that. In theory, sounds great. Debo in round 3 is an absolute home run. If you go RB Debo, freaking love it. If you get Mahomes or Hurts,
you think that's better than Achane?
If a what?
Like, if I went RB, do you think Debo is better than Achane in that situation?
I think Achane should be one of the RBs. So. If you're telling me, okay, I got you. And if you think you could get Achane as your third running back, your flex, then I would probably go Achane, and then I'd roll the dice. What you might want to consider though, bro, is you're gonna go running back, and instead of going early QB, you'll consider it, but you might want to go with like a Love or a Jaden Daniels with Kyler, or Kyler with whatever. You could get Burrow and JD5. You could get a combo, whatever, or just take one. And then that way you're not starving too much at wide receiver. But at the same time, man, if Mahomes or Hurts or fell to round 4, like I'm probably taking him.
Yeah, in this league I was thinking of getting one of those top 3 guys and drafting JD5 and just using them as trade bait and have JD5 as my starter eventually.
Yeah, don't worry too much.
That way I can trade for a receiver.
Yeah, so, don't do that. Don't plan on trading.
Don't do that?
Yeah, you're never gonna get. Don't ever draft someone with the intention of trading them. It's the dumbest move on the planet. You'll pull it off one time out of 30. Just draft the guy. Just draft the receiver.
Did you say for if you get Mahomes, though, you can get a top 12?
You can, but don't draft.
You
can, but don't draft for that. Let me see here. I'm gonna go Benson here. Yeah, don't draft 4. With guys that take a tight end in round 3 and they take a tight end in round 4, they're like, I'm going to control the market. They call my phone line all year begging me to help them get rid of one for a receiver. They could have just drafted one on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's going to be so pissed right now. I took Jalen Wright. This guy's probably reaching through the screen and just saying, my Tua Tagovailoa 3rd round plan has been foiled. It's been foiled. I love this squad. It's definitely, for anybody that's going to say it's weak at wide receiver, no shiat. Like, that's the point of the build, is you're banking on some things happening. So I have Kyron and Corum. I went Gibbs, Kyron, Dell, Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid, Keon Coleman, Hollywood Brown, Jameson Williams, Shakir, Blake Corum, cuffed to my Kyron, Benson, and Jalen Wright. This guy's probably still fuming, just fuming at the 3 spot because he's got Achane and Mostert and Tua, and he's probably just lost it. He's probably come to the channel right now. Who's this guy? I'm going to go see what he's doing.
You got the Buffalo receivers, though. The Buffalo receivers, I mean, that's just like, that's money. I mean, you got Josh Allen, I mean,
yeah,
throwing for like 4,500 yards every year. I mean, he's going to, one of those guys, they're going to be climbing up the rankings, you know? Like,
and my RB room's pretty damn good. I mean, Gibbs, Kyron, and then I cuffed. And then Benson and Wright. I mean, I think I have some huge heavy hitter home run getters. Hold on 1 second, boys. Let me go over to Travis. Travis, you're live.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up? What do you hear?
Not much. With Andrews hurt, I know you're not too big on him anyway. I know you don't mind him as a player, but if Andrews was to get hurt, likely is a top 10 tight end, right?
Likely might be a sneaky top 12 tight end right now. Even with
because they're probably going to use him anyway.
They love him. They love him, and I think he's earned his role no matter what. So, I've got Likely queued already. Would love to have Ben Sinnott and Likely. I definitely would love to have both those guys as my backup tight ends. But yeah, Likely is such a rising commodity here. We got a couple super chats. Hold on, let me make these 2 picks, answer these super chats, then I'll come back to the phone line real quick and I'll go to Travis. And all right, I'm on the clock here in a second. Ricky Pearsall. I could draft one more RB and be done with it and take Braylon Allen, but I'm trying.
Not still available?
What?
Not the Commanders tight end?
Yeah, no, I definitely want him. I just don't know. He's not. I don't know if I need to take him here. I'm going to run out of time. I'm just going to go Pearsall. I don't know if this is going to be a good move or not, but at least it's got huge home run potential. And I don't know, the Brandon Ayuk situation, I know everyone thinks it's going to be done, but this is dragging on so long. Part of me wonders if this thing is going to blow back up in the other direction. I don't know. I took him. Let me go back. QB. Should I take... I need another quarterback. I'm going to take Fields here, I think. I'm going to take Fields here. So I've got Josh Allen and Fields, different bye weeks. I have 3 running backs with a week 6... Or no. Yeah, 3 running backs with a week 6 bye, 2 running backs with a 5 and 11 bye. So I could definitely use one more RB, but wide receiver room completely diversified. And then I have 1 tight end in Kincaid. So let me get these super chats out of the way real quick, gentlemen, and then I'll come right back for you. Johnny says, Smitty, I feel like AR5 is a Saturn man where he is at ADP. Yeah, I mean, definitely he was, I think he was on Saturn. I don't remember. Initially, I think he might have been. I moved him to the Mars Man because we needed to make room, but the Mars Man is just as, potent, so don't worry about it. But definitely got the ability to be the QB1 overall. There's certainly that potential, but him and Stroud are both on the Mars Man. They're taking care of the Mars Man pretty well. 10-man, thank you for the super chat. 10-man PPR just drafted Stroud, Brees, Achane, Marv, Cooper Kupp, Monty, Reed, Worthy, Chase Brown, A.D. Mitchell, Braylon Allen, BT. Okay, so I love you, Braylon Allen. I would love to have at least had Wright on this team, though. So that would be if for any reason he's there, or you could go get him. I think Wright needs to be an Achane cuff. Past that, I mean, there's nothing to do here, bro. This is a really good team. Brees, Achane, even Monty's crafty. Worthy's crafty. Love Worthy as your potentially 3rd wide receiver. That's going to be really good. Chase Brown's a breakout. You got Chase Brown and Moss cuffed. There's nothing to do here. BT. I think you need Wright. I wouldn't mind Mostert as well. And if you can get rid of... I mean, I love BT, but if you can use BT to, I don't know, maybe navigate something. But I almost feel like I'd rather have...
Reed?
Yeah, maybe use Reed, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. They're very close. But maybe you can
Yeah.
use both of them to get the 2 cuffs, and then it's like I don't know that you'll need them. I love BT and I love Reed, but I almost rather have you sure up that running back stable. But Monty's a fantastic third. So I mean, you're good. It's not anything crazy. I like BT a lot, but it depends on, like in that scenario, you don't necessarily need him as much. Also forgot Kincaid as your tight end. That's insane. That's a great team. That just tops it off, man. Definitely an 8.0 at a minimum, which means you can win your league. Appreciate you, Cam, for dropping the super chat. And Mahomes or Josh Allen for Dynasty, 1 QB. Give me Mahomes because Josh Allen runs a little more. But I love both of them. They're both fantastic. I mean, Josh Allen's been the guy. He's been doing it over and over and over. He's been QB1. How many times has he got to do it to prove himself? Jermaine Burton, I'm going to take Ben Sinnott here. Did Isaiah Likely go? He did go. Damn it. That sucks. Where did he go? He went
What
in the
about
middle.
the backup?
What?
The backup decorum, the third running back for LA Rams. Is he still available?
I don't.
Baldy or-
In best ball, I wouldn't do that personally.
Okay.
Just because you can't take that many zeros, man. I do need another RB though, don't I? What about this one? I'll go Jordan Mason, and that just gives me like a uniqueness that not a lot of people will have. So, Mahmood, $2 hauler. Thoughts on an AJB Barkley Hurts stack? I don't love it in non-best ball. I don't think it's the wisest move. I don't mind AJ Brown Hurts. I don't mind doing that. I probably wouldn't even mind in that specific offense Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, just because I think they're going to eat so much. But traditionally in non-best ball, bro, it's a detriment because it's not starting every guy you got to choose, unlike best ball where it's started for you, optimal scoring so you don't make mistakes. It's just not wise, especially the running back and the quarterback at the same time. Probably going to be a rotation of sorts in terms of who like blows up for a game. I don't hate it. I just don't think I would attack it. Would I avoid it? I don't think so. But would I try and stack it in non-best ball? No. In best ball, I don't hate it as much. I certainly don't consider the running back a viable stack partner. But that's just me. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But on a consistent basis, I don't think it's smart. Especially when, I just can't see Barkley and Hurts both having insane rushing games consistently. I think the games where Hurts rushes for 2 touchdowns, Barkley has 1 if he's lucky or does well if he's. I just don't see it as a smart move. Not even in best ball. But the wide receivers with the quarterback, I'm fine with it. And the reason you're not going to want, the reason you're okay with that in non-best ball is because the offense is so potent. You're going to constantly have them deliver. Whereas if you go, even with the Miami Dolphin offense, if you were to, in a non-best ball, have Tua, Tyreek Hill, and Waddle, you probably lose more times than you would think because they might be all run one game, and it's gonna burn you. I'm hammered, but wanted to check in. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you with the $2 hauler, my guy. Mahmood, thank you so much for your super chat. All right, Travis, you're back live, and then I'll go back over to Todd, the lobster, and then over to George.
Todd.
Go ahead, Travis.
I was just going to say, I know Akers isn't great, but it looks like he's possibly pushing for that backup job with the Texans. Do you think if that happens, they could trade Pierce? Because I still wonder if Pierce went into a different system, if he could be, like Dallas, we always talk about. But just kind of your thoughts on that. I know wherever Pierce went, he'd have to work his way back up. But,
Yeah.
Or do you think they just hold him for insurance because Akers has an injury history and everything?
Tough to say. I think I don't think a lot of teams don't trade for a running back. The Dallas Cowboys might be in the market. Maybe one other team. It's such a rarity. I just can't.
More if they get cut, yeah.
Yeah, I just can't see. Dallas Cowboys trading for Khalil Herbert seems to be everybody's guess, and it's a logical, guess for sure.
That'd be great. I don't know why Chicago would give him up. I guess if they like Swift that much, but
I don't think they do like Swift that much. Okay, so I'm almost on the clock here with my last pick. I mean, they like Swift enough. They gave him big money, I should say. But I think they were thinking that they had to swing big for a big weapon, and now, they call him a weapon back. They don't really call him their first, second, and third down back. Their 3 down back. They call him their weapon back. And to be honest with you, like Khalil Herbert's just a better running back between the tackles. You'd be crazy to start DeAndre Swift over Khalil Herbert. And DeAndre Swift was forced a square peg into a round hole last year in Philly. They're like, here's this receiving back. Let's run him between the tackles over and over and over. And it didn't really – it worked well for a while, and we were very excited about that situation, admittedly. But hold on, let me take a QB here. I'm going to take him.
Yeah, not to mention that Swift last year, that was his first season where he didn't get hurt, majorly hurt.
And he got worked into the ground, so an injury this year is more likely than it would have been. So I'm definitely out on Swift. But I think the desire to trade Khalil Herbert will depend on how healthy the running back room is at the moment they make that move. They're not going to make that move early on in the season. They're going to do it more near the deadline, right. I'd imagine, if they were going to do a move. But also, yeah, like Travis said, why would you want to trade Khalil Herbert away when you don't, unless you had a dire need at a position that would give you a player that it would make sense. I don't know why they would do it when they're like, okay, we're pretty good where we're at. Everything looks pretty solid. Why would we go ahead and just make a move to make a move? Like, teams don't just do that. But the Cowboys could make an offer that makes a whole lot of sense, if they're in dire need at running back. But who knows if they are between Dowdle and Zeke.
I don't know if they even would realize if they are, maybe, the way they do things.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I think Roschon Johnson in the 18th round is a complete steal.
Could
in
be.
my opinion.
Could be. I very much loved him last year.
They use him.
Loved him last year.
Wish
he was, given an opportunity, but when he did, it was like bad luck too. He got hurt. It was like Khalil Herbert was out for a significant amount of time, and then Roschon got injured. And you're like, come on, man. It's your time to shine. What are you doing? So the team, real quickly, just to go over the team one more time. I'm in the 11th spot there at the far right. I have, I can put a little square on here. Hold on. Let me do this. All right, so I'm in the 11th spot here. Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron, Tank Dell, Josh Allen, Kincaid, Coleman, Hollywood, Jameson, Shakir, Blake Corum, Trey Benson, Jalen Wright, Ricky Pearsall. A couple big swings, just, to be different. Justin Fields, Ben Sinnott, Jordan Mason, Malachi Corley, and then kind of a banking on Penix Jr. in the. I do think Fields will be starting week 1, and if he's not, he's in there by the time I need him. But if he's not, for whatever reason, I just have a gut feeling that Penix Jr. is going to be in the lineup at some point. The part of the reason for that too is that if Cousins has any sort of calf injury or calf soreness or anything, they pull him. They don't mess around with it. Nothing. And if that happens, Penix goes in, and I don't think he leaves the lineup. I don't think Penix Jr. is going to be starting at one point, has an amazing game, and they just take him out. So it's going to be such a crazy scenario if that happens. But
did you see what the coaches said about Penix? They said that we've seen enough of him in preseason. He's not even going to play.
Yeah, they want to make sure, he has an injury history too. So they're just like, we don't need to run him out there. We know what he is.
I think they are so super high on him and so confident in his abilities that they're like, okay, we've seen enough. We don't want to risk getting him hurt. We know what he's able to do. He's going to be our starter eventually.
Yeah, I mean, they took him top 10, so yeah, of course. So he's and they made it no secret. There's no guessing there either. Like the way you're saying it, they've said it. He's our future. Where we knew we needed to transition to him, and they've said Cousins is our guy right now. There's no doubt about that. Or whatever. But if we need to, we're turning to Michael Penix Jr. And then also on top of that, bro, Penix Jr. is hungry for the job now. He's not just sitting back going, yeah, I realize it's not my, he wants it. He's trying to prove it. And the part that I love the most about the Penix Jr. situation is the balls of steel that this coaching staff and organization have to not only draft Penix Jr. in the top 10 when everybody thinks it's a mistake because they don't know what they're talking about. This is one of the most genius moves. They attacked their edge rusher in a trade getting Judon. They absolutely masterful job on all fronts attacking the defense without having to use that top 10 pick. So it makes sense that they used it on Penix Jr. now to everybody. But no, people don't want to admit it. But the thing that makes me so excited is what coaching staff has the balls to run Penix Jr. out there rotational wise on the field, getting him ready. Normally people will be like, I'm afraid of what the perception is going to be. I'm afraid of the fan base chanting Penix's name. I'm afraid that what if Penix gets in Cousins' head? They don't care. They don't care. They're going to put them side by side in practice like they've done. And if Cousins gets rattled, they want that. They're like, then let's find out who he is. We don't care if we spent $100 million on him. It's not their money. It's ownership's money. They don't care. It's already spent. They're literally looking with balls of steel at both these QBs, and they're saying, we're going to put them right next to each other. We're going to make sure. You know what some teams would do? They would sit Penix Jr. They wouldn't even dress him because they'd be afraid of what that would do. Not this organization. They want Penix Jr. ready to go. If he needs to go in, they want to win that exact game that Kirk Cousins, if he goes down in. That's what I love about this coaching staff. And Raheem Morris has balls of steel, and I love it. I think he's going to be a top 3 candidate for Coach of the Year. It's going to be phenomenal. The Falcons are going to the moon.
What do you think of Mooney with the Falcons? I think could be a little bit interesting there. Never had. I'm not saying he's a wide receiver 1 or anything like that, but he's another one of these guys who's shown flashes and never had a QB really. I mean, granted, he didn't do much with Fields, but
yeah, I guess I would say, with Rondell Moore hurt and everything, that the door is open. So I think definitely like him. He's never been a number 1, but he's certainly a really, really solid 2. And he's not even really a 2. He now gets to be really the 4th option because the pecking order is going to be London, Bijan, and Pitts kind of tied for 2. And then number 4, Mooney gets a crack at it. But so that puts him in a really, really nice laid back, no pressure, single coverage, probably worst cornerback on him at all times. He'll be a forgotten man. He'll probably be what what's his face is Juwan Jennings is to the Niners, where it's like he's a dog, like he's gonna get those like big 3rd down plays, but not a ton of them, and everyone's gonna be like, I love Mooney, he's a dog, 19 catch Mooney, but he's gonna catch big plays, be wide open.
Big hey, catch. You mind if I draw a parallel to this Cousins Penix thing?
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like to me this Cousins Penix is kind of like Alex Smith and Mahomes. Like they'll probably run Cousins out there. He'll be mediocre. He'll lose some big-time, prime-time games. And towards the end of the season, Penix will take over. And like TM42 says in the chat, he's not going to give that job back. And he'll be the full-time starter starting next year.
But what's beautiful about it is that, and there's no doubt about that, the beautiful part is that Kirk Cousins then becomes the best backup quarterback in the National Football League, and we're back in the same boat. We're back. Well, they can't really do anything for another year because the dead cap is atrocious, so it can't really be traded. But I would say this. I would say that the same warm and fuzzy feeling I have when I go to bed every single night with all my Atlanta Falcons shares, I will still go to bed warm and fuzzy. As long as Cousins isn't out for the year and we're just down to only Penix Jr. and we no longer have that backup security. But if Cousins goes out for a game or two, Penix Jr. goes in, takes the job, doesn't relinquish it. He's now the starter, and Cousins is a glorified $100 million backup. I sleep like a baby because now the NFL's best backup quarterback is Kirk Cousins, and nothing changes for me. And all I do is I go, oh, safest QB room in the National Football League. I like it. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful move. And the people that rip apart the Falcons for what they did, honestly, I just don't think they either understand a lot of football or they just are coming from a place of fandom. And fandom for your team has a nasty tendency to have you be so biasly and ugly about it against something just because another team does it. It's wild. You know, you see, and the way you know that is you see a fan base get all mad and ugly and crazy about something. And then when the same thing happens to them, they act like it's such a, baby thing to do. Like the Cry Eagles Cry. And George from the Bay, you know this because you're a Niner fan. Cry Eagles Cry because the Eagles are crying about calls and this and that. And then the Niners, they still aren't stopping talking about the Super Bowl holds. Like every day I see a video pop up that's like, let's go over the holding calls again in the Super Bowl game. It's like, well, we're talking about Cry Eagles Cry. It's just funny. Like fan bases are very, but I appreciate that about the fan bases. They're loyal to the bone. And it is what it is. $20 hauler from Charles T. Hold on a second, boys. Hold on a second.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Charles T coming in strong with a 20 wad says, Smitty, please rate my team 12 team 0.5 QBs JD5 Bijan Achan. Smash. MHJ Amari Cooper. I assume it's Amari Cooper, not Cooper Cup. I wish it was Cooper Cup. If it's Cooper Cup, I'm giving you like a 9.5. If it's Amari Cooper, we'll see. Hold on. Pitts, love Walker, Worthy, great flex, bench, Warren, really good team. I love Wicks on the bench, right handcuffed to Achan. I have an offer DK for Walker. So you have Walker, right? So you have Walker. He is your flex play. You got Bijan Achan. You've got Wright. Your backup running back would be Dobbins or Warren. Warren's injured. Dobbins may have got injured watching Warren get injured. Dobbins currently is not injured. Let me make that clear. That we know of. Yeah. Wicks, I don't know. I mean, honestly, yes, I'd do this trade. But because it's your flex play. So it really doesn't matter. It gives you less running back depth, but it's just replacing your flex with another player that can play the flex. So DK is better than Walker. I draft DK over Walker 9 times or 10 times out of 10. I know in best ball, that's 100% lock to have as far of an ADP away from each other as you can imagine. Like Walker's going around 6 or 5, I think. And DK's going in the 2-3 area. And in non-best ball home leagues, Walker's going around 2 or 3, and DK's going like in the 2, 3, or 4, or probably the 3 or 4. So they're probably very similar in home league non-best ball, which is so wildly different. But that's because of the craze for wide receivers. But I still think I'd take DK over Walker, and I love Walker. But DK is going to eat big time this year in Ryan Grubb's offense. It's going to be a big year for DK. He's going to absolutely have an expanded route tree. I think people, pigeonholed him into this like very simplistic wide receiver that doesn't have a big route tree, but it's not his fault. He's been playing in a 2 wide receiver set by Shane Waldron, over in Chicago now. We saw how that went. Everybody's just absolutely talking about how amazing Caleb is, and no one's talking about how bad the Chicago Bears play calling has been so far. Like Shane Waldron, 3 and out, and should have been 3 and out again, double time. Yeah. But Caleb was able to get out of some trouble, which is the good part that Caleb brings in the flowers that we can give him. Sure, like Caleb made a great throw, he made a great scramble, But there's obviously a problem there in Chicago, and it is Shane Waldron. So he's out of Seattle, and now they're running a Ryan Grubb aerial attack, 3 wide receiver set. Instead of 20% of the time having 3 wide receiver sets, they now have it flipped on its back. It's like a 70 or 80% clip that they're going to 3 wide receivers. But yeah, it's so funny. The kid, like, I have people coming in like at least 1 or 2 times a show, and they're like, Smitty, you still hating Caleb? I bet he's not now, guys. Get behind me. Get behind me. And I'm just like, no. I'm not sitting here thinking that Caleb has changed my mind already. In a preseason game where his offense kept breaking down, and you expect him to do that all game long? It's wild to me.
Right. We know,
it's against the second team defense.
We know he can scramble around.
Yeah, he did great. He did great. He did great with what he was given. But the problem is, Chicago is more than half of the battle. Every time we came into down talk Caleb all offseason, Shane Waldron has been one of the biggest problems. The Chicago Bears not able to recognize what they need to do to support their quarterback has been one of the biggest problems, and the only thing that's been proven to me so far this offseason for the Chicago Bears is they haven't changed any of that. Like, they brought in the players, but Waldron is a 2 wide receiver set architect, and they've got 3 wide receivers and a weapon back. What's he going to do with that? I don't know.
Yeah, it makes me worry about Cole Kmet doing anything too. It's already crowded, and then you get a, 2 wide receiver sets, and just like Hoosier said, Gerald Everett's there too. It just doesn't look good for Cole Kmet either. We got a little upside.
Yeah, Waldron came from Seattle, right?
Yeah, it's 2 wide receiver. Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't have a mind of his own to do a different offense, and he was asked to run that for Pete Carroll, but his experience as an offensive coordinator, he's been in and out of the league, Waldron, for a while. Like, he was in the college game. It's been like 20 years like that he's been in football, college, pros, but he got his really big shot with Seattle and, ran that offense for several years. And some might say, hey, you got the most out of Geno, great. But the fact that, like, you literally at Kingsbury knocking on your door to say, hey, I want to coach my boy Caleb. This is practically his uncle. Like, Kingsbury and Caleb are like this. Their families are like this. Their families spent Christmas together. And for those that don't know, Kingsbury was the QB coach at USC last year for Caleb Williams. They're literally coach and student. And Kingsbury, they kicked the tires and did their due diligence interview just to, like, save face. And they wanted nothing to do with Kingsbury. Instead, they go over to Seattle, or they take Waldron from Seattle, who runs 2 wide receiver sets. And even the announcers said during the game, and I don't know how accurate this is, but I'm pretty sure it's relatively accurate, that Waldron's never even called run plays by himself. I just don't know what in the hell Chicago's thinking, that this would be their guy that's going to mold and sculpt a very, delicate situation that has a lot of upside. I've 100% said Caleb has the physical talent. He's got the arm. He's got the scrambling ability. You wonder about up here. There's that clip of him on the sideline. I think it was before the game. Like, are you nervous? And he goes, 0. Like, you're not nervous at all? He's like, 0%. I don't get nervous. I was like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? What do you mean you don't get nervous? You don't get 0% of you nervous. Joe Burrow, they say, has the blood pressure of a borderline, like, predator. like a almost psychopathic type of blood pressure. And he doesn't, like, get nervous like the average person, like almost like some crazy demented person that literally could 100% not feel empathy for people. Like, Burrow's like borderline, like the best you've ever seen of not getting nervous, but he still says, I get nervous during games. Caleb's like 0%. I get nervous. Like, come on, bro. Burrow's very, very like Burrow's the kind of guy you could be like, hey, he smiles and laughs a lot, but you could be like, Burrow, your car's on fire outside, and he'd be like, oh really? Okay, I'll go out and check it out.
All right, so I was curious. So I looked up what Shane Waldron's ranks were as the offensive coordinator. He was 22nd last year overall, 12th the year before, and 14th. And the passing offense was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you find anything if he's ever actually called plays, running plays himself? I don't think he has. At least that's
well, Pro Football Reference just has his ranking while he was with Seattle.
Well, he's been a passing game coordinator and a tight ends coach like everywhere he goes, so that would make sense.
Yeah, I don't think
he's doing passing game and tight end.
I don't know. Real quickly, Charles T. I don't know if I even answered the question, but I love this team. I take DK, and I very much think this squad is amazing. I just try and upgrade Amari Cooper. He's got some decent value. I'm trying to get myself a Cooper Kupp, who's very doubted, or a Tank Dell. That's just me. Some people might like Amari Cooper over Tank Dell. I do not. I am not one of those people, and that's just kind of where I would take that team. Charles T. with a follow-up says, do you see any moves that I need to make on the squad? Went Cooper over Neighbors. I wouldn't have done that. And I'm even pessimistic about Danny Dimes, but I would have taken Neighbors over him. I didn't want to be rookie heavy. I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's a very good rookie class. But, yeah, Amari Cooper to me, I don't even know if their ADPs are, I mean, Underdog's different, but it's still it's relative wide receiver heavy. So, like, you think that, you know, it's not like we're going to see a huge, crazy skew of Neighbors and Cooper that doesn't make sense because they're both wide receivers. So, the skew between best ball and non-best ball is wide receiver generated. But if I look at Underdog's rankings for wide receivers, we got Neighbors at 24 overall, and Amari Cooper is 42. Like that's a 20. That's almost a 20. I don't know. I think that might have been the one mistake, Charles T. That if I was sitting next to you, I would have went, whoa, what are you doing? Don't click that button. But maybe you can make a trade. But yeah, that was the mistake I would say that was made. You want my honest opinion, I'm always going to give it, Charles. I'm always going to tell you. But I still think your team is fantastic. Like, you did great. You did great. That would have made it just a little bit better, but maybe you can still make a move. 12-team PPR. My fear for you, though, is that you're going to find out that Amari Cooper has no trade value compared to Neighbors. Neighbors you could trade, especially off a big week. You could trade to anybody. They're so excited about him. Nobody wants Amari Cooper. So, like, that's the problem, is the trade value is horrible for Cooper. That's driving the car off the lot, losing 10 grand just driving it off the lot. Neighbors, you drive off the lot, it goes up in value. That's the big mistake. But you can make sure you remember that for the next draft, Charles T. I know you're doing like 10 more. 12-team PPR, Gibbs and Lamb for my Bijan and Rome. I assume this is Dynasty. I'll answer both ways. Gibbs and Lamb absolutely crush Rome and Bijan in redraft. And Gibbs and Lamb absolutely crush Bijan and Rome in Dynasty. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, Bijan and Gibbs are not miles apart. And Lamb and Rome and Dunze are very much miles apart. So, Bass, if you land this, Bass, we're going to send you on a victory lap. And then you better run from the veto police. Appreciate you. All right, let me go back over to Marsman Rock Out, who's sitting on the phone line here. What is up, my guy?
What do you feel about Dunze? Is he a mid-season monster? Because Keenan Allen's probably get hurt sometime this year.
Yeah, definitely. We got a Dunze on the mid-season monster list. He's there. He's been there. I think, Keenan Allen reportedly is 230, but he doesn't look...
He looks slow in his routes.
Yeah, he doesn't look 230. Part of me wonders if someone misspoke and said that he runs like he's 230, but because he doesn't look 230, but it's hard to tell. 230 you can wear differently. He's definitely, definitely slow. He's 32 years old, I think. So he's up
32.
there. He's up there. Like I told you guys yesterday that I think 12% of the stat is about 12% of 31-year-old wide receivers play elite football at that age. like a stud that's 31, 12% chance he plays at anything really even close to an elite level.
Yeah,
So-
but I believe in the Cup.
Yeah, so Cup is my guy for to be that 12%. But I don't know. I'm even worried about Evans. I think Diggs is hard because he's 30, turning 31 during the year. So do you qualify that or not? Probably not. And the fact that Keenan Allen's a year past this percentage, I don't have the percentage handy on that one. 32-year-old players, I bet you it's like 1%. 1 or 2% of 32-year-old players play at a top 10, I think what it was defined as is top 10. So to be a top 10 wide receiver, there's a 12% chance at 31 years old. And as a 32-year-old player to be a top 10, even though Keenan Allen just did it, he was one of those top 12, right? Because he just was wide receiver 3 at 31. So it's a unique question, right? Because Keenan Allen's one of those guys that just did it. But, I mean, he looked slow. He looked like he was slowing down last year a little bit. And honestly, that offense, Kellen Moore is phenomenal. And I know everyone wants to rip Kellen Moore because he comes from a failed Charger offense, but it produced a wide receiver 3 in Keenan Allen. And it was injured. And the whole offense was just kind of disrupted. And with Herbert being hurt, I don't think he was judged properly. You go back to Dallas where Kellen Moore was ultra successful and kind of developing what you see there today. The remnants of that offense is from Kellen Moore. And good God, I mean, Lamb was phenomenal there. And look how good Lamb became. So
Eagle season now.
Yeah, Keenan is one of the absolute biggest bust candidates for 2024. Here's the planet.
The Eagles offense has to be the offense to own this year. Eagles are just going to go through the ringer.
Here are the Planet Uranus men: Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, one of the worst receivers in the entire NFL. Devontae Adams, probably the biggest controversial name on here, but he's an older player in an awful system. And Pollard and Edwards and Swift are all big avoids. Dobbins, his name is on here. I don't have his face on here yet, but it is on here. Dobbins. Those are the biggest avoids for me anyway for 2024. Jocelyn Surprise is on the phone live. What's up, my guy?
Smitty, it's been a long time, man.
Good to hear you.
It's been a long time. All right. Same here, man. All right, so I had my draft this past Sunday, so I just want to get your like advice and your like reactions on the draft. Now, I still play in this league that it's a non-PPR league. It's a standard non-PPR league, all right? And I'm going to tell you all the players that I got. My 3 quarterbacks are Jaden Daniels, Anthony Richardson, and
speed it up a little bit, Jocelyn. We're a rapid show here.
Okay.
You're gonna have people falling asleep here. I'm gonna be losing viewers. You're telling me about grandma here. Okay, go ahead.
All right. My running backs are Bijan, David Montgomery, Chase Brown, and Freddie Benson.
Okay.
My wideouts are Tank Dell, Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jaden Reed, and Jameson Williams.
Smash.
And my 2 tight ends are Kincaid and the
That's okay.
tight end
I don't
for
need
the
to know.
Titans.
What can I do for you regarding this amazing team that you assembled and smashed your league mates into pieces?
So here's my dilemma. It's not a PPR league, so I start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. So my dilemma is I really like Chase Brown this year. So do I start Chase Brown over Chris Olave, or do I just let it sit and let it play out?
You can't do that yet. You can't do that yet. You got to start Olave. He's a 2nd to 3rd round player. Chase Brown's a diamond in the rough, a rags to riches player. There's buzz because he's getting first team reps. You don't know how that's going to translate during week one. We've seen this before. Someone's supposed to start, and then all of a sudden this other player is just used. So you got to play this out. You cannot sit Chris Olave. You drafted Chris Olave where? In this league, it sounds like you got him in like the 4th round, but like normally he's going in the 2-3 turn. Brown's going like in the 7th or 8th round. Like this isn't even a conversation we can have.
So all right. So here's where I messed up, and I think you're going to be very upset at me. So I had the very first pick in the draft. So I went Bijan first. Then on the 2-3 turn, I picked up Marvin Harrison Jr. and Chris Olave. Now, on the board, I had a decision between A-Chain and Olave, and I picked Olave over A-Chain.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But because of that, because you heard me say that I would take A-Chain over Olave every time. You can't just bench Olave. It doesn't mean I hate Olave. But bro, you took Olave in the 3rd round, and you just asked me. The only reason I'm being hard on you. You know, I love you, pal. I'm so glad you're back calling into the phone lines. So you remember it. Like, they say when you knight somebody, in the movies, they I'm going to make you a knight, and you take the sword and you go like that over them, and they slap you across the face so you'll remember your oath. You'll remember the moment you're in. Like, that's all I'm trying to do is just give you a little bit of a virtual jolt that you took Olave in the 3rd round, and you just asked me, should you start Chase Brown, who you took where? Round 8? Like, where'd you take Chase Brown? You can't sit your 3rd round pick. Like, you just did this. Right. So you obviously loved him. Right. Yeah. Right. No. Yeah, because my thinking is, even though the Saints aren't going to be a very good team this year, I think he's going to get peppered with targets. Like the targets are going to be there. As we all do. And I think with Olave, Tank Dell, and Marvin Harrison Jr., I think I'm stacked at the wide receiver position. So I really think that my 3 wideouts and of course. You're fine, bro. You're panicking over nothing. You have an anxiety attack about having a glorious team. The bottom line is you just wait on Chase Brown, wait on Chase Brown. You can't start Chase Brown over Olave. It's asinine to even consider it yet. Right. Plus Rattler, maybe Rattler ends up being something special too. So let's just wait and see on that. Go ahead. Who's interrupted? Let me guess.
George.
George from George always has something to say. Go ahead, George.
I mean, look. I have an opinion on something. Look, that team is super stacked. I would recommend that you play your guy. You play your starters. Or trade. Put them in your lineup. Obviously, Bijan's not going nowhere. He's your starting running back. You play your top 3 wide receivers. Put one of them in the flex. And when it comes to quarterback, you got to play the matchups. You got Anthony Richardson against Texas week 1. You start him week 1 because Commanders are on the road against the Bucs.
Who's your other quarterback, bro?
My 3rd quarterback is
no, your starting quarterback, your number 1 quarterback.
Oh! I picked up Richardson in the 6th round.
Yeah, I mean you can't. I don't know that you're starting JD5 over Richardson yet. Maybe I'm not saying I won't week 1. We got to see how it's gonna all play out. We got to see what we're feeling. I'm not ruling it out, but right now, I mean you're starting Richardson. I'm not saying, George, that I won't change my mind come week 1 eve, but I mean we're taking Richardson where we're taking Richardson. We're taking JD5 where we're taking JD5. Not to suggest that come week 3, JD5 isn't traded like he's a top 4 round guy. That's what happened with AR5. AR5 was taken in round 6, 7, 8, and then once we hit week 3-ish, wherever he was right at his peak, he was being traded for 2nd round wide receivers. Like if you were dying at wide receiver 2, Puka Nacua, you could have had trading AR5 to a team that lost A-Rod, Cousins, Joe Burrow. And so that's what we're talking about with that. But you probably got to start right now, pencil in AR5, but certainly hope that we're so hyped on JD5 that we make this move. We very much could, but we just need to play it by ear. But my advice to you would be explore some trades. All right, hey, got to move on from this. I appreciate you, Jocelyn. Call in more often. Appreciate you, pal.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, later. All right, I'm gonna get everybody off the phone line because I'm about done for the night. Let me go over to Todd the Lobster. Final thoughts.
Yeah, hey, last year we were hyping up Johan Dotson, a lot. It didn't really play out the way we wanted to. But with JD5 now, where do you see him? Is he more, because now he's like a sleeper. He's going late rounds. Do you see him being a big impact on the Commanders this year?
What'd you say? You said Johan?
Yeah, Johan. Do you see him being a big part of the Commanders offense this year?
Yeah. Let me put Johan on the screen here. Okay, there you go. Johan Dotson. Yeah, Johan. Look, he's a very, very big upside guy. But the problem is they're talking about his job being up for grabs. I don't think he's lost it yet, but maybe they're trying to light a spark of fire under him or something. But he's certainly got a lot of upside. But LMC, Luke McCaffrey, might be coming for his job. We'll have to play it by ear. But very much like him. I'm grabbing him like at the end of the... And he's slipping a lot right now in a draft because people are hearing negative things. Like, oh, he might not be the number 2. Now, we don't really know. I love him a lot. I think he'll end up being the number 2. I think he'll be very undervalued.
Okay. All right. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
All right, bro. We'll see you later.
All right. Take care.
George from the Bay. Final thoughts.
Takeaway from the show is going to be, I'm going to
Rock out. I think I need you to mute. Rock out. I think it's still your phone, man. I think whenever you're on the line, you got to mute it. Unfortunately, it's just some kind of reverb. I don't know if it's the speakerphone cycling the back through. Okay, go ahead, George.
Yeah, I'm going to fade the Bears offense after finding out that Waldron's the offensive coordinator. I guess I must have slept on that, but
welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to probably bank on the Seattle offense with Ryan Grubb. You know, he's coming from Washington, so I'm thinking probably a big year for JSN. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, bigger year. I still, as much as I love Waldron, you got Geno Smith and a QB, shortage. So I don't think I think we got a similar problem just in a different way. I think Caleb's got the physical talent. It's just we got to wonder about the mental aspect, the leadership aspect. And then you have Chicago and Shane Waldron. Chicago historically bad with developing their quarterbacks and taking the right one for their fit, and then they don't support them properly. So there's that problem there. On the flip side, in Seattle, I don't feel like ultra confident in the entire thing, but I'm excited for Walker. I'm excited for Waldron. I'm excited for the offense. I'm excited for the 3 wide receiver sets. I'm excited for JSN to be on the field 70% of the time now. And I'm also very excited about DK Metcalf having a stretched out defense and a much expanded route tree. But I do worry a little bit about the QB play that's at play here. But, I think Geno did look shockingly good 2 years ago. And there's potential he impresses us not enough that we would start him or pick him up or anything like that. But in 2 QB league, you might, or you would in 2 QB league. But I think maybe we're getting these guys fed enough. So we'll see. I definitely like him. He's a great wide receiver 4. I don't know if he's like my favorite wide receiver 3 even. But if I had a rotation of them, like let's say I take Coleman, Worthy, and JSN, love it. Jameson, Williams, Worthy, and JSN, love it. Rotation like that. All right, man. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. All right.
Rock out. Final thoughts, pal. Sorry about your phone. Sorry about your phone, Rock out. I just don't know. It does it every time. I don't know. It's weird.
One of the guys I like in the middle, late round, sort of, is Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, we love BT. BT, Worthy,
yep.
Coleman.
Yeah, I got a draft.
And JMO. These are my favorite wide receivers. They're all in the same territory. They're fantastic. And
Great value.
you could even go like Tyreek Hill, like I did in this draft, or I've done in a lot of drafts the other night. And then instead of going wide receiver heavy in these best ball drafts like everybody else, you go back to QB, running back, tight end, whatever, and then let everybody else just grab as many wide receivers as possible. And then all of a sudden I come in and look like, oh, he's got such a light little Mickey Mouse wide receiver room when I've got Coleman, Worthy, and BT as my wide receivers, or JMO instead of BT. This is sneaky, and I quite honestly think it's going to ball. As long as I've got one like wide receiver that I can anchor the whole group to, I'm pretty much loving the combo of these guys right here.
Exactly.
Rock out to the moon. We'll see you tomorrow, buddy boy.
All right, see ya.
All right, later, rock out. Travis, final thoughts.
I'll ask Charlie's question he had in the chat. He was asking, would you trade Christian Watson for Blake Corum? He's a Kyron Williams owner.
Watson for Corum. Is Dynasty?
Nope, it's redraft. Dynasty for sure, right?
Do you know who his other receivers are?
I don't know. You can probably answer.
Charlie, who are your other receivers, bro? I'm gonna say at the end of the day, I'm a go for this. If you didn't cuff him, this is not the end of the world. This guy could get hurt at any moment. I love his upside. You are trading away a potential like high-end wide receiver to upside potential guy, but you're also trading away a guy that may never play for you. So Godwin,
Ridley, Tyreek.
Ridley's good. So you're gonna have
Tyreek, Godwin, Ridley, Mike Williams.
Godwin's very high value right now. I'd almost trade him away. I wonder if you could trade Godwin instead. Well, no, I'd probably keep Godwin. I would trade him for another player. So I would make this trade for sure.
Yeah.
And then I would try and trade Godwin on the high because he's worth more. Unless you could trade Godwin for Corum and another player. Like if you could trade for another player with Godwin and do that. If not, then I would trade him Watson because that seems even. And then you can roll with Godwin. A lot of people like him, so maybe I'm wrong on Godwin. But
I don't think he's bad. I mean, he's not going to be a top 5 guy, but he's going to be steady.
I think Watson leaving this room doesn't bother me at all. I think to get Corum, you're fine. I'd say go ahead and Smitty approve that. Got Pacheco, that's great. All right, Smitty approve.
Just real quick, I was going to ask you just real quick. One of my dynasty leagues, it's only a 10 team. What I did last year was I would just scoop guys up. I'm going to be the first pick this year. But I'd scoop good players up if people dropped them, obviously. But by doing that, I ended up with a ton of tight ends. If they're like, I have McBride, Ferguson, Likely, and Musgrave. So when trading guys like that, you think it's more likely to put them like in a deal with someone else to upgrade a position, or would you rather get like second round picks back for him, or what do you prefer if you have that type of depth?
I think no one wants Musgrave. Doesn't mean he's not going to be good. I love him, but no one's going to give you what you deserve. So just hold on. Ferguson, I don't know. I find he's
likely that they won't either.
Yeah, I think Ferguson's not really even getting ranked where he should either. But you could try trading him. But I also don't mind like holding this into the year. Like these guys will gain value.
Right. I will. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, not saying you, but a lot of people think they've got to trade before week 1. But sometimes you just wait 1 week or 2 weeks. It's like Fergie goes up, Musgrave goes up, and then you got more value. But if I could, move a QB6 into Josh Allen, Mahomes, or Josh Allen, Mahomes, or Hurts, then I'm trading Ferguson for that upgrade. If I could trade a wide like a Waddle into a St. Brown, or a Waddle into or Jamar Chase or something by giving up
Okay,
Fergie.
so-
I'm doing that. I think your best bet is to not try and trade 1 for 1 because no one's going to give you what you deserve. But for some reason, when you do
Right.
a 2 for 1, it makes, when you're giving up to where you give up to 2 players, it makes somebody see the optimistic viewpoint of Ferguson. So if you're doing the QB upgrade or you're doing the wide receiver upgrade, if you're giving away that wide receiver with Fergie to get the one better player, I think you're probably best trying that. And if you can't get it, wait.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Because I've
Thanks,
definitely,
Smitty.
yeah, I've
Talk to you
definitely
later.
been able to do something like that. All right, later, bro.
Bye.
I think you're able to get that pulled off a little bit more. Jarrett P with a 5 says, in a league where we have 6-round keeper or later, 10-team.5 drafting 9th. My keeper is Brees. Thoughts on going double running back to start the draft? I can't give you an exact answer on this, Jared, other than I don't mind it at all. In non-best ball, I don't mind it at all. However, do I think... Excuse me. Do I think that... It's so tough. Do I think that you're going to be better off going RB, RB, QB or something? Because you're keeping one. So going RB, RB or RB wide receiver. Like, I don't mind the double RB, meaning you're keeping Brees, you're going RB. But to go all 3, it has to be a special player like Achane or Kyron. So if you're getting an Achane and Kyron with Brees Hall, 100% down. 100%. But if you're forcing like a, I don't know, like Rashad White or, someone that doesn't have that top 5 potential running back firepower, then I'd rather go Mahomes, Hurts, or Allen, or go wide receiver if it's the best player available. So there's no way to answer this in general other than to say that's kind of the way my mind will navigate it. But I think that will be helpful, hopefully. And Jared, appreciate your super chat. On that note, we are out of here. Celebratory messages. One from Crypto, who says, keep 2 AR5. Crypto, you still here? I usually answer these celebratory ones at the end of the show because it's hard to see them throughout the show, but I can definitely collect them at the end and answer them one by one. So, Crypto, hopefully you're still here. Keep 2 AR5. Keep 2 AR5 10, Kyler 10, Trey 9, Trey McBride, I assume, and Cooks. You mean James Cook? You can't mean Brandon Cooks, bro. James Cook? Singular? I don't know, Crypto. I'll assume that's James Cook. I'm going McBride. Yeah, Kenneth Walker 4. I'm gonna go AR 510. I'm assuming this is 1 QB. If it's 2 QB, I'm keeping Kyler in AR 5 in case closed. If it's 1 QB, I'm keeping AR 5 and 10. And it's a really cryptic message, but I'm gonna say Trey McBride 9. Easy peasy, done deal. And gifted memberships. I don't think we had any tonight, but that's okay. I appreciate every single one of you. All my super chatters. Justin, Mahmood, Michael L, Johnny, Cam with the double, by the way. Thanks, Cam. Charles T with the 20. Charles T with another 5. Bass, appreciate you. And Jarrett with the final super chat of the night. At least so far, unless somebody drops one on the way out. Appreciate every single one of you. If I do miss a super chat on the way out because you timed it wrong, make sure you just comment on the video and say you missed it, and I'll reply to it. Appreciate you all. Also, I try and get back right now. It's not as busy comment-wise, even though we're getting, really busy on the 8 p.m. show. We have 400 or 500 people in the live stream at any one time. We're booming. If this is your first show somehow, we're live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. Every single Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm also additionally live whenever news breaks, and I'm live most midnights like this show right here. So there's no one that goes live more than your boy. Appreciate you all. See you all later. Thank you for being here. And let's end it on a little... was saying, I kind of interrupted myself. I was saying that it's busy. Like, it's getting busy. We're ramping up. The 8 p.m. show is popping. 450 people in there for the majority of the show today. We hit 500 a lot throughout the shows now on the 8 p.m. But the comments are still kind of lower, you know. So drop a question. I try and get back to as many as I can. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Again, live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, live whenever news breaks. Deuces.